The Zhu family was emigrated from China to United States in the late 80s. They settled at Eugene, Oregon, and soon after, 63 years old Daming Zhu landed a job in teaching mathematics at the University of Oregon. The couple enjoyed the outdoors and used to take regular hikes in the nature. Daming's wife had a painful medical condition which made her to go to Terwilliger hot springs to rest in the water to lessen the pain. Daming himself was a fit man who used to ride his bike to work every day. His family stated he had no medical conditions. On November 4, 2007, Daming's wife got up early for her morning shift. She had a job at an electrical factory. Daming had a whole day for himself and told his wife he was going for a day hike at Cougar Reservoir. This is a 30-mile drive south of Eugene on Highway 126 and then a short 1-mile ride south to the reservoir. It is located 50 miles north of Crate Lake National Park. This area can get very desolate and remote very quickly. Daming stopped in a small parking lot close to his destination to buy a map. He chose the map 100 Hikes in Northwest Oregon and Southwest Washington written by William Sullivan. Daming started his hike and in the afternoon 2 other hikers saw him at the summit of Olali Mountain approximately 7 miles from his car in an elevation of 5,500 feet. His car was parked at 2,000 feet elevation. The couple talked to Daming and said he was in a good spirit and they watched him as he started descending. Shortly after, the couple followed. At 7:15 p.m., Daming's wife returned back from work and didn't see Daming nor his vehicle. She got worried and at first called Daming's cell phone, but he had left his cell phone in the car. When he didn't answer, she called her daughter in Portland and few hours after, authorities were notified and a search was started. As soon as the search started, a heavy fog hit the area with wind and rain, which slowed down the effort. Searchers soon found Daming's vehicle at the parking lot he had parked his car. They found half the map book he had purchased and Daming's leather coat inside the car. Daming's daughter immediately came from Portland to Eugene and stated his father was in a very good condition, hiked regularly, and if he wasn't injured he should be able to survive. The area the search group was searching was very rugged with steep cliffs and thick vegetations. The area he disappeared appeared to have never been logged, so it had even more thick woods than the surrounding areas. There were plenty of water and fruit for him to stay alive in this location. There were 2 National Guard helicopters and lots of volunteers searching for the 63-year-old man. Bloodhound dogs were brought into the area, but they were unable to pick up a scent. 3 days after Daming went missing, searchers thought they found Daming's track going downhill. The tracks stopped in an area called Bear Flats. Late in the afternoon of the following day, 2 searchers were in the French Pit Creek Three Sisters drainage and found the remaining half of the trail guidebook Daming had purchased earlier prior to his hike. Searchers started scouring the whole drainage, but they didn't find anything else. At the time of the search, a small creek was still in this location and it was filled with thick vegetations. After 9 days of searching, the effort was terminated without finding Daming. The only thing the searchers found was the map book Daming was carrying at the time of his disappearance. Remember, he was a professor and he had no medical condition. He was prepared and was carrying a map. There is absolutely no reason to lose your map if you lost in the wilderness, since that could be your only hope to safety. We will never know what really happened to Daming Zhu in the wilderness of French Pit Creek Three Sisters. Lieutenant Colonel Edward Holtz took his 3 sons to a short vacation at Sequoia National Park in July of 1971. The eastern side of this park has huge granite peaks. It has Mount Whitney, which at 14,505 feet of elevation is the tallest mountain in the contiguous United States. The family reached the park and went to Dorst Creek Campground to set up their camp. After that, they started fishing. On July 13, 1971, the family was coming back from a fishing trip when 9-year-old David got separated from his brother. David told his brother he was going to take another path. Once the family reached the campsite, they realized David hadn't returned yet, so they started yelling and searching the surrounding area with no success. David's father stated David was mentally retarded, which added another layer of difficulty to find him. The National Park Service, local sheriffs, and armed forces of Hamilton Air Force Base helped with the search. The formal search lasted for 7 days, but on the 8th day, a searcher was on the way to Dorst Creek Campground when he found a tackle box. The tackle box was shown to David's father, and he confirmed it was the same tackle box David was carrying on the day he disappeared. The tackle box was found on the side road close to Dorst Creek Campground. Searchers were using this road for the past 7 days of the search. It was strange none of them saw it until the 8th day. Search parties stayed in the area for a couple more days to look for David, but they had no success. They were surprised the air flights over the area couldn't locate the 9-year-old who was wearing a red and orange shirt at the time of his disappearance. After 2 weeks of formal search, the effort was terminated, but David's father continued searching for his lost son. On July 13th, 18 days after David disappeared, David's father and a friend were searching an area called Colony Meadows at an elevation of 7,900 feet, which was 1,200 feet above where David vanished. As they were searching, they found the dead body of David. There is not much information on the condition of the body. The Park Service stated he died from exposure and exhaustion, but no autopsy was done. This area is known for its missing people cluster, and a huge amount of people go missing every year in this location. What happened to David remains a mystery to this day. On October 21, 2010, 65-year-old Patty Krieger and her boyfriend Larry, with friends and family, drove to the top of Sauk Mountain Road to climb Sauk Mountain. Patty had a Rottweiler dog who was with the group at the time. Prior to October, Patty's boyfriend's parents passed away, and the group had decided to take his parents' ashes to the mountains. This area has old growth forests, and the mountains are thick with vegetations. There is Sauk Lake, which sits at the other side of the summit. Patty's boyfriend stated she wasn't an outdoor type, however, she was known to be tough and could withstand unusual conditions. She was also wearing 2 hearing aids on this day, which without them she couldn't hear much, and she was almost deaf. The group reached the summit and distributed the ashes of Patty's boyfriend's parents. After that, they started to descend, and after a while they reached the fork on the trail. Patty told the others she was going to take the fork with her dog and told the group she will meet them at the car. Patty stared at the group as they were descending. Everybody along with Patty thought the trail she took would eventually lead to the car, but it didn't. The group arrived at their vehicles and waited for Patty and her dog to reach them, but they never arrived. After a while, the sheriff was called and a search was started. The search included volunteers, military aircraft equipped with FLIR which shows hit signatures, sheriff deputies and others who combed the area in hope of finding Patty. They brought tracking dogs to the scene as well, but they had no chance of finding the scent. Patty's son Alan was searching an area on the second day when he thought he heard a bark from a dog. The sound came from a very rugged and dangerous area. Searchers combed the spot, but they didn't find Patty's Rottweiler. After 3 days of searching, the official search was terminated for Patty. Her son kept going to the location on the weekends in hope of finding his mother. Nothing of value was found until 26 days after Patty's disappearance, when a hiker found Patty's Rottweiler walking the mountains. The dog was malnourished and underweight but alive. The family put the dog on a special diet to get his energy back fast, and after that they took him to the area where Patty disappeared, but he wasn't interested and didn't track. If Patty died and was in the area, tracking dogs would be able to smell and track the bad odor that a dead body releases, but there was never such a found. Patty Krager was never found.